Attention, pussy shoppers, taking advantage of our penny pussy sale. If you buy one piece of pussy at the regular price, you will get another piece of pussy of equal or lesser value for only a penny. Try and beat pussy for a penny. If you can find cheaper pussy anywhere, fuck it.
Volume11music.com. Big Mex here. The Big Mex and Big Mex. What am I, a pen? Big Mex and Jamie show. I'm Big Mex.
I'm Jamie.
How's it going?
Oh, I'm like sweltering right now.
I wasn't really asking you. I was asking the audience.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I'm the audience. I'm looking right at you right now. So
It's just
there
us
you
two
go.
today. Finally. Like, when was the last time you and I mean, we got Nikki here. She's going to give her TED review. And we got Scooter, the owner, here, who's going to jump in a little bit. And we're going to talk. Yeah, huh?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, OGs. Like, we haven't had not anybody here in a long time.
I was thinking that, actually. So,
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how we do, if we still can get along without having a
Doubtful.
guest on the show. I don't know. I think we can do it.
It's really doubtful.
So what have we been up to this week?
We went to was that what we're talking about?
Civil Unrest. That
Yeah.
was the tour we've been talking about for many weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was pretty cool. It was like a big package tour, 10 bands at LVCS
Yep.
on Fremont Street.
Yep.
And, I got to tell you, when I first got there, the characters in these bands, it was really cool, actually, because most of these guys were like gothic kind of metal. And they were wearing outfits that made the Mad Max outfits look like, Sunday school dresses. And I cannot believe that they were able to not pass out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you, but it was a great show. It really was. I discovered a band called Dark Cell at that show that absolutely knocked me out. They're from Australia, and they were killer.
Yeah, that was the first thing you told me when I walked in. Oh, that's the singer from Dark Cell. They were badass. We got to get with those people. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
They
stole the show.
You were pretty pumped there, really.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about for you? Who was the best performance for you?
I'll have to say Dim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like
local
those guys.
boys.
It's maybe because I knew them. Maybe you know me, dude. You know my taste in music.
Yeah.
I really liked the music. I wasn't really feeling it. Like the thing that's important to me at a show is not just the bands. It's the audience. It's the venue.
It's the vibe.
It's the vibe. I gotta be feeling it to really enjoy myself fully.
I gotcha.
And I couldn't really fully enjoy myself, not because of the bands, but because lack of other stuff. Like the audience was kind of, it fluctuated as the night went on, of course. But it's hard on a Wednesday night
to
have such a big, and not only that, doors opened at 5:30.
Yeah,
dude.
it was 10 bands. I
It
mean,
was
that's
10 bands.
Usually they have like 9 bands.
Yeah, if you're gonna have a package tour like that, in my opinion, have it on a Saturday.
Yeah, Vegas is tough. It's a market that doesn't get as many weekend shows. Another band that I thought really brought it, I'd never seen them. I cannot believe that was Motograter. Another one that knocked me out. I was like, wow, I've never seen Motograter.
Let me tell you something. That new song that they played.
Yeah, you said something to me, but I could barely hear you.
Yeah, the intro to that song sounded exactly like the intro to The Bleeding from Five Finger Death Punch.
And we know the connection between these two bands,
yes,
right?
because Ivan used to sing for Motograter, which I can't really see.
I can, because he still
Can
carries
you?
some of that, putting makeup on his face sometimes, and he kind of has that vibe still going on.
Huh.
But, I'm sure they knew what they were doing there. I'm sure it was kind of like, oh, let's do that, just to kind of a little bit of a go to the fans on.
There's not one band member in that band that was there when Ivan was there.
I've heard that.
I looked on their Wikipedia. Oh my gosh! Like, what's the deal?
It's like keeping the name. It's like a sports team.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about that, they keep the name.
I
Different
guess.
players.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But it was a great show.
By the way, we are at the Sporting Life Bar, 7770 South Jones Boulevard. Who's our what's your name? Danielle. We have Danielle, lovely Danielle, wearing a San Francisco 49ers shirt, whatever. And she's serving us. I got my Bloody Mary. You got your $2 V11 PBR. Nikki has her V11 water. We're going to be getting the hummus here pretty soon. We've talked many times about
And that's
the food
not
here.
like a play on word. It's actually hummus.
It's hummus. I got
hummus.
the sun-dried tomato. Nikki has the garlic because she wants garlic, and she wants to keep all the vampire boys off of her.
Oh, that's
All the
a good
goth
point.
boys. Do you get goth boys chasing you around, Nikki? Let's give her a mic real quick. What kind of boys do you got chasing you?
I don't think I have any anymore.
You're such a. Don't even start. Don't even start. What kind of boys chase you, Nikki? Don't lie.
There's no type.
You got a lot of
there's
meatheads
no-
chasing you?
There's no goth kids out here.
But
I
do
don't see any.
what is your type of guy?
A nice one.
You'd like the typical nice boy.
Yes, gentlemen.
Gentleman? Oh, okay. There you go. Well,
Well, you're in the wrong company right now, let me tell you.
Yeah. You don't even bother.
What are you doing here, young lady?
Don't worry about us. Don't worry about us. Don't come after us. And definitely, you're in the wrong city. I'll be honest with you, because there's
Yeah.
no gentlemen
Very
here
few.
in this town.
And they're
But
definitely not listening to this show.
good luck, though. Anyway, if I come across one, then I'm wrong sexuality. But anyway, you get it. If I come
Ooh,
across
see,
one,
I can
you
make
see
those
that?
jokes and I get to shake my head. You doing it? It's like I want drums, I want fireworks. Okay.
But anyway, if I find a gentleman, I'm going to send him your way. Do you mind?
No, I don't mind.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. But you're going to pay.
I trust you. I trust you on
You trust what? Oh my God. Oh, okay. Now she's really in for
I
it.
don't trust either one of you. So let's talk about some other music stuff,
Yeah.
because it's kind of cool. Kind of cool to do
Cheers,
that.
by the way.
Oh yeah, let's do a big. Whoa, Jamie almost party fouled right there. Cheers, everybody! I got Nikki's pinky finger in that. Cheers.
Wow.
Anyways, we got stuff going on in the news. Brent Hines. I don't know if you're familiar with Brent Hines.
Yeah.
There's a band called Mastodon out there.
Mhm.
They've really kind of changed the landscape of kind of psychedelic metal over the last few years. And
Yeah, psychedelic stoner metal.
yeah, and they put out an album called I think it's like Once Around the Sun. I think it was the last one they put out that kind of skirted away from the metal side of things and more towards the psychedelic. So Brent came out this week in an interview saying he hates heavy metal.
Mm-hmm.
Why did he say that, Max?
I'm not sure why he said that. And it's funny because I interviewed Davey Suicide. And this is all connecting. This is why I bring up Davey. Because I asked Davey, is it important for you to like your genre? And it was so funny because I asked him that the day before this came out. I said, how important is it for you to like the genre of music you play? And first of all, maybe Davey was not having a good day, whatever. In my personal opinion, if you're an artist and you're not having a good day, cancel the interview.
Yeah.
Say something. Hey, I'm not feeling well. Can we reschedule? Don't go through an interview if you know you're going to be kind of a D-bag or not into. I take that back. Let me reverse there. If you feel like you're not going to be into the interview.
Right. If you're not going to give your all for the interview.
I've called out artists before.
Yeah.
But in a nice way. I said, hey, it's obvious, you know, and I'll tell them. If it's obvious you're not really feeling this interview, you want to reschedule? Oh, no. Then they change their tune real quick.
Right, because they know that you're noticing their attitude.
Yeah. And I almost did that to Davey, but I didn't. I let him keep going. And then, you know, that's when we talked about the genre, liking the genre. He says it's very important. Why would you do it if you don't like the type of music you're playing?
Right. I agree.
Then this article came out. And not only does Brent Hines not like heavy metal, he doesn't like doing interviews.
Yeah, he just wants to, which I can understand that to some point, but at the same time, it's part of your job to
Yeah.
sell your craft, sell your wares. And he said that, hey, I if I could just play the music, play the shows, write the songs, and never do interviews and this and that, then I'd be happy. Which, you know, there's 3 other guys in the band. That's fine. You know, let that happen. But it's an odd thing to say at an interview.
Yeah, it is. It makes the interviewer feel like shit, first of all.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you do after that? Like, oh, I hate interviews and this and that. Oh, okay. But I'll finish this one and be nice.
Yeah. That's when I would have said, well, then let's just not finish it. And you can go finish doing what you're going to do, hating heavy metal, and I'll go start interviewing somebody that matters.
Yeah, well,
That's what I would've
you
said.
remember when we interviewed Doyle?
Yes.
You know, that's another lost interview. They might. I think we're gonna compile a bunch of lost things and put it together
Yeah.
one of these days.
Yeah.
But you know, Doyle and his hairdryer, and you know,
And his hot sauce.
and his hot sauce. You know, I understand he's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah.
But why bother scheduling an interview if you're not going to do an interview?
Exactly.
That just does not make sense to me. If I go take an interview somewhere, I'm going to put on my game face and be the best I possibly can. They should do the same.
Yes. Now, in Doyle's defense, we were warned.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We were warned,
Oh,
but
I was
still.
scared to death, and I even listened to some of the other interviews. And I was like, "Oh God," you know.
You
this
were
is
there
gonna be a
firsthand, and you
disaster.
witnessed the train wreck firsthand.
Yeah, I even saw Mex speechless.
I was like, okay, fine,
Yeah.
Doyle.
So I mean, what do? I mean, you put your hands in these. You put your career in other people's hands. So you're letting them schedule interviews, work your social media, do all these different things for you. What happens when that gets fucked up? What happens when your social media, your PR person sends you in the wrong direction, sends you to bad interviews, or
Which
takes
we've had.
over your Facebook page and doesn't want to let go of those reins?
Yes.
I mean, that just happened recently, didn't it, to somebody in town?
You
here?
mean with Vince?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, where are you going
I
with
could
this?
not have opened that door any wider.
I mean, I heard that. I was like, why are you mixing Vince with
That
this?
sounds so familiar. So yeah, Vince Neil ran into an issue
Yeah.
on that subject, and tell us more about it.
Well, as a lot of you know, I think late last year, Vince Neil started his very own Facebook page, and it was an official Facebook page. It wasn't a like page; it was a friend page.
With a little check mark next to it.
Yeah, well, when you get the little check mark, it's official.
It's
But
official.
when it's a friend page,
Right.
it doesn't get the check mark.
Gotcha.
It only gets a check mark when it's a like page.
Okay.
So Vince started his own friends only Facebook page, and immediately, like, he hit 5,000 people in a matter of a couple hours.
Sure.
So I noticed, I was one of those people that was added on there. I noticed that he hadn't posted in a while. So I went up there, I went to his page, and it had nothing for months. I was like, what the hell's going on? Then I researched a little bit, and apparently the chick he hired to do his Facebook page, or the company he hired to do his Facebook page, which he still had a hand in monitoring it, had taken it hostage. Because she said, or they said, that they weren't being paid, this, that, and the other. And I could see that happening. You know, as an artist, and you're paying somebody, sometimes something as small as your social media, which that's the thing with a lot of people these days. They don't take social media as important as they should,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's very
taken for
very-
granted these days.
Yes.
Already.
And I mean, well, not yet. I mean, still, people take it for granted
Yeah. Yeah.
now, still, whatever. So I could see that happening, you know, where he forgot to maybe send a check or whatever. So he went to court to try to get it back. I don't know, whatever. I don't know all the details.
So it got tied up in the system.
got tied up in the system, and now he's back. You know, him and his wife are now. His wife is helping him with the social media.
I believe it's a girlfriend.
No, I think his wife. I think he
I
said
don't think
wife.
she's his wife.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure she's not. They come into my job all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they live on that side of town?
Yeah. So we'll find out. We'll do some fact
Yeah.
checking on that. But yeah, I mean, so you know, somebody like Vince Neil, he can have his social media hijacked, basically held hostage, and you're kind of like, you know, I know it's Motley Crue. You know, the news is going to get out there, but if it's somebody smaller, you take them off the radar for 3 months off social media, they're pretty much forgotten, and that's a scary proposition. So these people have to be careful who they hire. So you know, you talk about somebody like Brent Hines. You know, he's going to have somebody else talking for him. So that's kind of taking a risk.
Okay, you may be right. He doesn't say wife, but Rain.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
It's
gonna
Vince
help.
Neil. He has wives, girlfriends.
All over
of
the
it.
place.
It's Vince Neil. That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
Moving into that. So we're talking about social media. Let's move right into it. Dave Draymond. So Disturbed. He's had a love-hate relationship with social media for a while now. And just this week on his Twitter account, he says he's done with social media. So he closed down his Twitter account because he doesn't like the way people attack him every time he says something, which is kind of the whole point of social media. You're going to either get attacked or praised.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's said a lot of things in the past about religion and different subjects that
Yes.
have irked a lot of people. So if he has the right to say those things, then we should have the right to counteract them. And so, it's one of those things. He has the choice not to have a Facebook or have a Twitter, but it seemed like his reaction was timed very well with their latest single that just dropped this week.
I don't understand why all of a sudden David Draymond is getting all butthurt about what other people think or say. He's never, ever, ever been that type of dude that cares what other people say. And he's always defended himself very well in social media.
Well, he's a businessman. He runs a lot of different businesses.
Yeah. So I don't see why now all of a sudden it's an issue. I post a lot of questionable stuff on my social media sometimes. Now, I don't always expect people to agree with me. In fact, I would appreciate it that they don't agree with me just because they're friends with me.
You get conversations going.
Yeah, no, and conversation is what conversation is a good thing.
Yeah,
because then that's how you find out things about other people.
Right.
In fact, one thing, race. I honestly think, and this is the issue with race, is we being people, you as a white person, me as a Mexican, Hispanic, whatever, should have that right to ask, like you should have that right to ask me, so why do Mexicans get stereotyped against not having car insurance? Right? You should have, and me being a human should, and if you're, honestly, if you're my friend, which you are sometimes, honestly,
hey, I didn't even know you're Mexican.
If you're honestly asking me that question, I have to honestly answer your question without getting my feelings hurt.
I don't think as many friends do get butthurt about it. We hear about this in the media, but I honestly think that most friends can have that conversation. It's the sideways friends. It's the hanger-on friends that want to cause the trouble.
See, I don't think that.
You think it's more the actual people closer to you?
Like that, we have a couple of friends. Casey, one. Yeah. Wes is another one.
Yeah.
They are friends.
Yes.
They wouldn't react that way.
Right.
To the way you're just speaking. But
I'm speaking.
Whatever.
No, I know what you mean. I have people I know very well that way too, where it's not. There's no problem. You can talk about whatever you want. It's that's a whole show, really, when you think about that subject.
And I'm not really even talking. And what I'm trying to say is not even. I'm talking about I should go up to the bartender over here, and I should ask her, why do you only see white people panhandling? You know what I mean? That's an honest, why is that stereotype there? Not why is that, but why is that a stereotype? And her being a human being, if I'm telling her, look, I'm honestly being sincere here, let me ask you a question, and I ask her that question, she, as a human being, should honestly answer me with a sincere answer without getting offended.
Yeah.
Now, if we all had that mentality, we would all, I think, would get along better.
But if the media didn't make it to be such a huge deal.
Fuck the media.
But, fuck the media.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can't turn on the TV without hearing 15 minutes of conversation about race relations, don't you think that maybe that's 80% of the problem?
No, you mean the media?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so
the media blows shit up out of proportion all the fucking time.
Right. I think the whole thing you're on with the race thing
yeah.
is because of that.
I'm part of the media. I fucking hate the media.
Yeah.
And whenever people say the media blows shit out of proportion, we're talking about CNN, we're talking about MSNBC, we're talking about all the big major news TV networks, not and the radio affiliates for those specific TV stations. We're not talking about, radio stations that play music.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not even talking about blowing out of proportion. I'm talking about just keeping it in the media. Just regular conversations, honestly, we're doing it. Yeah. But I mean, when you think about that, I think that's the biggest problem. But
that is.
I mean, I don't know. Let's change gears.
That is definitely. You know what? Let's talk about something else completely different to kind of bring things upbeat.
Okay.
You want to do that? So we got our friend Scooter here. Scooter, He is the owner. You want to share mics with him?
Yes, I'm going to hand my mic over to Scooter, and I might grab it out of his hands. You will never know. You never know, but I'm going to hand it over to him right now.
Scooter, how you doing?
And I'm doing well. Apparently, it's okay to cuss.
It is okay to cuss, yes. Scooter is the owner here at the Sporting Life Bar, 7770 South Jones Boulevard, in the corner of Robindale and Jones. I've been a fan of this place for quite some time now. At least, Troy is a very good friend of mine. I've known him for, almost 10 years already.
Trigger
Troy. And I've been coming here probably since the beginning of the year and have been a big fan. And I used to tell this guy, you got to come out to this bar. You got to come out to this bar. Fucking great bar. They show The Walking Dead on Thursday nights. This is when you guys are showing The Walking Dead up there.
Yeah.
And he was like, and he's a Walking Dead fan. So we were. And
we don't show The Walking Dead.
You don't show The Walking Dead anymore. You show the zombie show, yeah. So, like I said, this is before.
They sent us a letter explaining that from their legal department.
Yes. Thank you for first of all, thank you. I haven't officially thanked you on the show yet for letting us come over here and invade your space.
Well, you guys are absolutely fantastic, and I certainly appreciate having you guys do your show here.
Well, thank you very much. So, we were talking a little while ago about first concerts.
Oh, we were, yeah. Crazy.
So, what was your first concert?
I'm old. That's not fair. I'm old. Do you remember the band America?
Yes.
The Horse with No Name, Sister Golden Hair?
Yeah.
All that? Yeah, well, I went to my first concert was at Miami of Ohio University for my sister was going to college there, and they had a Little Sibs weekend in America.
Little Sibs, huh?
Little Sibs weekend, yeah. Marketing gimmick, if you ask me. The America was playing, and I kept asking her, "What is that funny smell?"
I got a story, and I'll tell you later, maybe off the air, about the funny smell.
Come on.
My cousin, I had a cousin that had MD, and our aunt and uncle took him to an AC/DC concert, and he got to sit in the wheelchair section. Well, all the weird smell smoke started coming up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, my aunt started feeling like weird, and she broke out in hives. And they took her to the hospital. They took her to the ER. My uncle was a juvenile corrections officer. So when they took her to the hospital, the doctor came back, and she had internally had an allergic reaction. So everything that
the smoke
to the weed, yeah. And the doctor goes, Mrs. Andrade, we're gonna, this is what's going on. You're having an allergic reaction. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to stop smoking marijuana. So that was her first and only experience with marijuana before she passed away. But that was her first. But my first concert was Ozzy and 38 Special and
that sounds
Sammy
like
Hagar.
Quite a show. Who?
Sammy Hagar.
Oh wow.
That was my first concert ever. So, and Jamie, what was your first concert?
My very first concert was David Lee Roth on the Skyscraper tour.
Oh, nice.
With Steve Vai and the Bissonnettes playing with him. So he was on the surfboard in the crowd.
Greg Bissonette and
Matt Bissonette.
Matt Bissonette.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a good one. Had the boxing ring at the Dave
came down from the other side of the arena there. And what was really cool, well, actually it wasn't cool. This is the funny part about it. I'd never been to a rock concert. You ever seen a kid, I don't know, I was 13 or something like that, who thought he was going deaf for 2 hours because it's so loud. You're not used to that kind of level of volume the whole time. I was more worried about going deaf during that concert than watching David Lee Roth.
Now, the first concert that I had my ears ringing for days was Judas Priest.
Mine was Scorpions.
Scorpions. What show did you walk away from with your ears ringing?
I went to see when U2 first came out with when they really hit it with War. Mm-hmm. I was in Frankfurt, Germany.
Wow. And
they were obliged. They had just become an overnight sensation, but they were obliged to play in what amounts to a high school gymnasium. And
that makes me SMH right there.
You can only imagine. You can only imagine how loud it was.
I bet.
Them playing with all their money now in a high school gymnasium. Yeah,
That's
it was crazy.
crazy. That is crazy.
And like you said, how many days later was it that you could start hearing again?
Yeah, I was 2 days. 2 days long.
Well, you know the funny thing about that is back when we were all young, our hearing would be gone for 2-3 days, right? We'd be ringing for 2-3 days. Now that we're not so young, it doesn't do that. Like, I think our ears are always ringing. So, like, half hour later, like, oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. You can't hear shit at that time.
Yeah.
But
Nikki, what was your first concert?
Evanescence.
Evanescence.
When she first came out. Yeah. That's when I lived in Ohio. So it was.
Oh, so you're from Ohio. Jeez, what's up with all the people from
Ohio?
Ohio?
Really cheap. It was because she was just started. I think it was like $7 to see her play, and it was at a rib cook-off. So we were.
Well, you know,
doing-
she wasn't the only one in the band, so you can't just say her.
I understand. But,
That was when Ben Moody was in the band.
yeah, exactly. I said it because now I know she's on her own. So yeah.
I don't blame the other guys for leaving her.
You know, I feel that I'm in a safe place right now, so I'd like to actually disclose that my first concert wasn't actually David Lee Roth.
Okay.
I have to disclose the fact that my very first concert.
Lies. Oh, lies.
Was
You've been
Tiffany.
deceiving us. Ooh. She's hot
Nikki
now.
made me
You know what?
remember it because, you know, she saw Evanescence at a rib cook-off. I saw Tiffany at a soccer exposition or whatever match that was also a Tiffany concert. It was because of a girl. I will put that out there. But that, you know, if we really want to be honest, that was my first concert.
Let's not be that honest anymore.
You know, I think I should. I feel that everybody listening right now expects that from me. Not you, because I can't do anything about it. But, yeah, I'm going to put it out there. And I might, you know, if somebody wants to send me a Tiffany T-shirt.
Ask me what my second concert was. Go ahead. Ask me.
Big Mex, please tell me, what was your second concert?
Lisa and the Cult Jam.
Really?
Full Force and Force MDs at the at Astroworld's Lone Star Amphitheater.
So, now
No.
we're even.
No, but that wasn't my
Really?
first concert. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So we're not even.
Damn it. You know, imagine my my happiness and surprise when Tiffany was in Playboy many years later. Anyways.
Did you see that? I never saw those
Oh,
pictures.
yeah, I saw it, definitely.
Really?
She was pretty cute for a while.
Pretty cute for a while, so she's not cute anymore?
You know, she might be listening, so I don't want to say anything.
Oh,
but
she's
not,
hot right now.
She was
Oh, my
pretty hot
God.
for a while. And then it was Debbie Gibson that was pretty hot for a while.
Did the carpet match the drapes?
You know, now that I think about it, it might have been in the era where there was still carpet,
Or-
not so
or
much
were-
linoleum.
Oh, there. I was gonna say, or were they hardwood floors?
Hardwood. Well, there was hardwood floors involved. Anyways, so going back to other subjects, you know what? Actually, let's go ahead and play a song.
By the way, we got to thank Scooter for stopping in and saying hi.
Yes.
Great guy. So anyway,
So let's play a song. Could
Yes,
we do that on
yes,
this show?
please.
This first song is a German band. Yes.
Yeah.
Across the world, we cover bands. To the Rats and Wolves. You know, I always like the fact that like foreign bands, their names don't always make as much sense as some of our names.
Uh-huh.
So they're called To the Rats and Wolves. This is a song called Suburban Romance. They're
Okay.
kind of a metalcore sound with a bit of electro pop mixed in. Really, really brutal stuff with great melodies. Check
Really?
it out.
right here on.
Right here on.
Oh my God! Really?
Well, I thought you were going to talk.
Dude, I got a mouth. You see me? I'm eating.
I thought you could
you
talk.
had.
You're
I thought,
talking.
I thought you had it covered.
Listeners, can you hear Big Mex talking right now? He has a mouthful of food. And
you
can
had
still
it
hear him.
covered.
I got it now. This is Big Mex and Jamie show.
Right here on Volume11Music.com. Jesus Christ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wolves are back. Are you ready to dance? Ready to drink? So jump the fuck up! Can you feel it? We are the third wave. Yeah, we are speaking it up. Yes, I got it in black. Yeah, that's no. Yeah, the sky lies. So epic, make a drink. No, to shine. We watch the skyline, waiting for a chance to shine. We are the wolves of the night. We won't enter the light. We will destroy ourselves until the last bite. We are the wolves of the night. We won't enter the light. We will destroy ourselves until the last bite. This is not a band of love song. This is a sweet serenade to this concrete empire, the city we love to hate. This is not a band of love song. This is a sweet serenade. We are the wolves of the night. We won't enter the light. We will destroy ourselves until the last bite. We are the wolves of the night. We won't enter the light. We will destroy ourselves until the last bite. This is not a band of love song. This is a sweet serenade to this concrete empire, the city we love to hate.
Volume11music.com. It's Big Mex with the Big Mex and Jamie show.
And Jamie with the Big Max and Jamie show.
I fucked that one up, didn't I?
No, it's I like that. I told you that last time. I
Did you?
like that. I do.
Okay.
We say our name twice. Actually, there's so many names of the same thing there. It makes people remember.
Yeah. Who was that? That we just listened
That was
to?
a band called To the Rats and Wolves.
Okay.
And I really dig this band. I know, metalcore's kind of played out a little bit here in the States. But I tell you, man, this band, check out their video, Suburban Romance. Look it up on YouTube. It's cool.
You were just
video.
saying it's a cool video.
It's just
yeah.
cool. They wear all this horror makeup and they're super heavy, but then you get into the chorus and it's super poppy, but still heavy.
Yeah.
So I dig it. That's my thing.
That's cool.
But we were talking about we went all over the place. We actually we covered quite a few subjects in that first segment.
We even got serious for a second.
We got serious for a second, but then we realized that it was a whole show, so we
Yeah.
had to kind of back off. But continuing what we were talking about, which kind of has a social media theme, this week, Kerry King, which we all know is the Slayer guy, he put out a message. I don't even understand this. Will you just tell me what it is?
He said something to the fact, excuse me, he wants to make Gary Holt a serious offer. And I didn't even read the article because I'm not really big. I don't know if we even discussed this. Even we talked so much about the media type stuff, about my disdain for webzines recycling news stories that everybody knows the fucking answers to. And like, perfect example, the Phil Anselmo thing.
Yeah.
Did we discuss that?
Yeah, well, we discussed it personally, and I think I know where you're going here. One thing I will say is sometimes I am so entrenched in the news and the media, and every little tidbit of news that comes out about a band or the culture of rock, that I forget that 90% of my friends are not. And I think that's something as Volume 11 grows, we have to remember that not everybody is so in tuned as we are.
And I keep that in mind. Trust me, that's one thing I do keep in mind. But if it's been 3 to 4 years,
Yeah.
and the same story pops up every 6 months, that's on it, dude. Fucking find better writers, find better stories, do some digging, do some fucking research.
Take a different angle.
I'm gonna call especially, and I'll call them out, especially fucking Blabbermouth.
Yeah.
Okay, they're really, really, really bad at this. Bringing up the whole Phil Anselmo Pantera reunion. You know what, man? Now, I'm gonna get on my soapbox here for a second.
Here, let me bring it out.
You saw me when I sat myself upright that I'm gonna say something. I was fortunate enough to see Pantera live. You were fortunate enough to see Nirvana live. I was fortunate, and Pantera. I was fortunate enough to see Nirvana also. And I was not fortunate enough to see Led Zeppelin. You know what? If you're into that, if that's your thing that you most desire in the world, and you weren't able to see them, too fucking bad.
Well, there's DVDs too.
There's fucking, but there's a difference between seeing them live and DVD.
Sure.
That's just how the cards were dealt in your metal world. You know, live with it. So stop fucking recycling the same bullshit. And I will say this. You made a post. You shared a link the other day.
Yes.
On the Blabbermouth link that I'm speaking of specifically, and I made a post after that. I made a comment after that was kind of not. I don't think it was rude. Some people may look at it as being rude. I will apologize to you for posting that. I took it down. I don't even want to get into the details of what
And
I
I
said.
never even saw it.
You
so
never saw
He
it?
didn't even have to tell me that.
Yeah. So we're not going to be that website. You know what? We're not going to talk about shit that, and we've discussed this before. Even when Chris was here from Five Finger, we
Right.
didn't ask him about the whole meltdown in Tennessee because that's not who we are.
Right.
Let the other webzines
Speculate.
speculate and talk dirt. You know,
Yeah.
fucking let them sling that shit. We're not here to do that. We're here to talk about what's new with you. Let's just hang out and have a good time. That's not what we're about. We want to just have a good time and fucking hang.
We're also about introducing new bands.
Yes.
And going on that same what you're saying, I'm going to step onto the soapbox as well, and say that because we introduce new bands and exciting bands, if you are just dying to see Pantera play again, even though it's not Pantera, why don't you check out a band like Upon a Burning Body that
Oh my
continues
God, yes.
that sound,
They carry that flag.
message, that everything, that Texas vibe. Check out a band like that. Open yourself up to a new band. And, that's kind of what we're all about here. We're not about the old stuff. And, oh, my God, Big Mex wearing the I Kidnapped Danny Leal T-shirt.
It's layout.
Layout because I'm white. So,
Yeah.
going back to our other subject, I'm not offended by that, by the way. And, I would just go for these new bands. Like, if you like this band, they're not around anymore, you're never going to see them again. Start looking for bands that, you might dig that are
Absolutely.
like that band.
Absolutely. So anyway, the Carrie to Gary thing. Sorry about that. I had to get it off my chest. It's
okay.
something that I'm passionate about.
I can tell.
And being unoriginal is something that I hate unoriginality.
Well, stagnant
if
and unoriginal.
if that's an even word. But Kerry King decided. Why would you? I'm thinking when I saw that comment, I'm like, why would you go to social media to announce that? Why not pick up your fucking cell phone and call Gary Holt and say, look, bud,
Because social media is a cell phone now.
we're gonna make you a serious offer. What is it going to take for you to be a full-time member of the band? Why go through fucking Facebook or through a website or through anything? Why just not fucking call him your fucking self?
And the other side of that is maybe that was the plan. Maybe it was like, oh, you know what? We're going to put it out there. That way Gary knows how serious we are. And he's been kind of like, we've already asked him, and he's kind of hemming and hawing about it. And now we're going to put it on Facebook so all the fans know. That way they tell him, hey, Gary, you really got to join.
You know what that tells me as the years have gone on, and not that I hate Kerry King, but my like for him has gone down a little bit every year. To me, by him saying they're going to make a serious offer to Gary Holt means to me that they need somebody to help write the music.
And they hold themselves a little too high in regard when
Yeah.
they do that.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's true because Gary also has a track record behind him that he can hold against them too. There's Slayer, but there's also Exodus, and I mean, I don't know. I'm not the world's biggest Slayer fan.
Yeah.
but
No, I am.
it's one of those
I'm
things.
a Slayer fan.
And Carrie has a really distinct personality that's not for everybody, and I guess that just carries over into this story.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, and I mean, people using social media as their outlet to get their thoughts out. This week, another story came out, which is kind of the polar opposite, no pun intended.
I know where you're going to go with this one. This is
you had a guy, and I actually mentioned this at dinner with my wife the other day. I'm like, this has happened a few times, and I'm going to refer to an older story that happened a while back. Former member of Attack actually went on social media about 2 years ago and did the same thing as what I'm going to talk about now, which is Justin Lowe from After the Burial.
Something
I
like that.
completely lost the name. I believe it's After the Burial. And Justin Lowe, he put out this manifesto that was just, for lack of a better word, don't be offended, but crazy. And a few years ago, this member of Attack Attack did the same thing, where he was trying to say that he was possibly gay, and all these weird things came out. And it really mirrored, and I was really kind of taken back by it. But anyways, this Justin Lowe story, he put out this manifesto that was just out of this world. I mean, it was conspiracy theories. He was being framed for his friend's suicide, just all sorts of things going on there. And he quit the band because of this. And then the band themselves put out a statement saying, we're really worried about this guy, and he's having an episode. We don't know what happened. And so, that's where it's at right now. I mean, you read it too, Max. What do you think?
I'm very familiar, not with myself, well, maybe with myself,
Right.
with mental issues, with bipolar type stuff.
Mental illness.
And I felt bad for the guy, but I'm also one to think, is there some truth to this? Just, I always ask myself, just a little bit, is there some little bit of truth to this? I don't know if I'm the only one that does that, but I always, I never read, I never decide,
You
this
never
guy,
pass judgment.
Yeah, I never pass judgment sometimes. But this was just completely out there. I mean, accusations of child molestation.
Like framing.
Just
Like it was
everybody
framing, but at the same time kind of saying
and his
like
whole
stuff did happen.
his whole family was in on it, and it was crazy. And I'm like, whoa! I had to stop reading. I stopped reading. And I said, you know what? I can't read this anymore.
It was sad. It actually was
it
like,
was.
it was kind of heartbreaking. I have no idea before I read this who Justin Lowe was, and
I had no idea who the band is either.
I couldn't point him out in the lineup, but it's a cry for help. It's a oh my god. I mean, I honestly I think I'm siding with the band saying like oh my god,
Yeah.
what is going on here? And they're genuinely worried about this guy.
Yeah, this Justin Lowe guy said that, I mean, this had been being set up for the past few years.
Yeah, it's like an ongoing thing.
And I was like, what? I mean, I've had family members, like mother, father type family members,
Yeah.
mother, say, that there's a people in black car following me. And I'm like, come on, seriously.
Yeah,
Let's be rational about this,
I think most of us have had experiences with people like that, and you sometimes cannot wrap your head around it how they're seeing these things or thinking these things. But it's true. I mean, this guy didn't write this just to get attention. Let me tell you that. But another guy actually.
We wish the guy luck, though. I mean,
I'm sorry.
we
Oh
wish
yeah,
him luck.
yeah. We
I
want.
just wish him
Hopefully, right
gets
now he's
better.
getting help. Somebody in his family is getting him help. Hopefully, the way his moods are working, he's receptive to that at this point.
Yeah.
So
Maybe he was off his meds, because that's what happens too.
Exactly.
When you're off your meds, and if he was on meds, and the band has not said whether he was or not, but it's obvious that he probably was, and maybe his prescriptions just ran out.
They might not have known either.
And they might have known, and one thing led to another, and next thing they know, the band is seeing this on their Facebook page.
Yeah.
So we wish the guy well, and we hope he gets some help. And another guy who's probably had some help from time to time throughout his career
or needs help.
or needs help, but maybe he's kind of helped himself, self-medication probably.
Absinthe. Poster boy for absinthe.
You know what? You say that, but when I was in my early 20s, 20, 21, 22, my goal in life was not my goal, but my Friday goal was to go with my buddy to the bars and get as shit-faced as possible and look for fights. That was my goal. And I started taking LSD.
Oh, jeez.
Seriously.
No wonder.
I started taking acid, and it fucking totally helped me. Like, it gave me this self-perspective type thing.
Yeah.
Like, I saw myself from where other people saw me from, and I was like, I'm the biggest fucking asshole
Really?
that there was. And I stopped. Like, I totally got unwound. I was chill. Just like, it totally, helped me out with the issues that I had going on.
Have you thought about taking it again?
I have,
Oh,
but
okay.
nobody makes it anymore.
Damn it.
I would-
Larry's dead, right?
If anybody knows anything about, never mind, I can't say that. I'll
Yeah,
get
we're
in
going to
trouble.
leave it right there. But going back to Manson, he's been in the press a lot. You know, he has a really successful album, which is a solo album. The last one that he did. What is it called?
I have no idea.
I hate it when I do that.
It was a Deep Six,
That's the
That's the name of
single. I want to say Born Villain,
maybe.
but I
Born
think that was the
Villain.
one. Anyways, so Manson has a new album. It's actually a solo album. I've said this before on the show, and I got the proof that is a solo album because of this interview that I heard with him. He's talking about a few things actually. One is he's going to be writing with Twiggy again, and that is his main writing partner from day one in Marilyn Manson, the band. So we might hear more of a throwback sound to Mechanical Animals, possibly Antichrist Superstar, and that would be good. I think that he needs to go back to that sound myself. But he's talking about doing a 20-year anniversary tour next year for Antichrist Superstar, which is arguably his biggest album ever.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that. Honestly, I would love to hear that whole album played start to finish.
Yeah, you know what? As far as his albums, there's like 4 to 5 songs off of every album. I take that back. Antichrist Super is the exception. I liked almost every single song.
Yeah.
Angels with the Scab Wings is probably my favorite song of his. I take that back. Deep Six is a pretty fucking strong song.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But like on every other album, all the other albums that he's had, there's like 3 or 4 really, really, really strong songs, and they're usually the first songs off the album. So if you go to each one of his albums, the first 2 or 3 songs off of each album are fucking really strong. That's how I would make my Manson compilation.
Well, even his greatest hits album is like that. I mean,
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it really, really is. And you're right. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
But I think he's back. You know, he's still kind of a dick at times, but he's an interesting
He's
dick.
just a weirdo. He's
Yeah.
not really a dick. He's just a weirdo. If you've ever seen him on Talking Dead.
Oh, yeah. You know what? He embarrassed me on Talking Dead.
He did, didn't he? Right?
He was so.
I was just
I
like,
love
oh
Man.
my
I do.
God.
Like I called him a dick, but I also love Manson. And to hear him on Talking Dead, I was embarrassed.
Like,
but then
just
I see
shut
him on Sons of Anarchy, and I'm like, right on, man.
Yeah.
You know, he was perfect in that role. Now I guess he's friends with Charlie and Tommy
Yeah.
from that show. And-
He embarrasses me. Like I felt bad for him on that metal show also when
Yeah.
Biff was on there from Saxon.
yeah.
I was like, oh my god, dude, shut! Can somebody get him off the set, please? You know,
But that's part of his thing.
That's
You
part
know,
of- yeah.
That's it's
Yeah.
to make you feel uncomfortable, and if that's his goal, he does a great job at it. Last but not least, he's going to have a new book coming out too, which I'm totally psyched about that because his last book was awesome,
really.
which is more the biography type book. But yeah, so continuing the whole music thing. We talk about Knotfest a lot. I've talked about Knotfest, honestly, probably every week.
Am I going to get some kind of?
No, you're not. I know where you're going with this.
Why, dude?
Well,
I
because-
deserve that. That's
well,
bullshit.
let's put it this way, because I've been trying to do where we have like a gentleman's bet about how many bands were going to be from Aftershock, which is the same weekend in California, that would travel over
Don't give
to
me
San
that.
Bernardino
Do not give
and
me
do
that
the
bullshit.
Knotfest tour or the Knotfest shows. Officially, 10 bands.
Give me besides Slipknot.
I'm going to name all the bands right now because I have time. I can
Okay.
do this right now.
All right, go ahead.
So the 10 bands that are playing Aftershock that will be at Knotfest are as follows. Bring Me the Horizon,
Relevant.
one of my favorites. Clutch,
relevant.
Red Fang,
Irrelevant.
pretty big up-and-coming band.
Irrelevant
me, sir.
yet.
Suicidal Tendencies,
Relevant.
All That Remains.
Oh, irrelevant.
They used to be relevant. Beartooth,
Irrelevant.
very okay.
Irrelevant.
Look at me right now.
I'm not
You
saying
see
that
my
they're not.
t-shirt?
I'm not. I noticed that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're not good. I'm not saying they're not gonna be relevant as of right now. Irrelevant. Continue.
The Sword.
Even though I like the Sword personally, I really like
I've
the
heard
Sword.
you
and
love
they're
The
from,
Sword.
and they're from Austin, and I would love to say they're relevant. Irrelevant.
Okay. Helmet.
Irrelevant.
Snot.
Definitely irrelevant.
Devour the Day.
I get mixed up with Devour the Day, and that's
That's the band we saw over at Brooklyn Bowl recently.
Oh yeah,
And they killed it.
relevant. Yeah,
Very relevant.
Relevant.
And then, of course, Slipknot. So you have like 11 bands, actually, with Slipknot
the
included.
fuck out of here!
That's still
Come on,
not
no,
too shabby.
No.
But what's
You
the
still-
big news? What's the big news of Knotfest? Who's headlining the first night of Knotfest?
fucking Judas Priest.
Judas Priest.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal.
That is big.
That's a huge deal.
That's
They
big.
they brought the heavy this time because last year there were a lot of heavy bands, but there was more core bands. You have for the headliners, you got Korn, you got Mastodon, Trivium, Corrosion of Conformity. You have a weird kind of add-on, which is Ghostface Killah and Mobb
Mobb
Deep.
Deep. Have you ever seen
which
Mobb Deep?
I have never seen either one of those.
Mobb
and
Deep is
That's a
good.
great angle to take.
And if you're into the woo, into the W,
yep.
Ghostface Killah is
It's
the one that
going
you
to
want to
be
see.
a cool lineup. At the Gates, Body Count, Battlecross, King, Gwar, Born of Osiris, Cannibal Corpse.
I'm gonna put it this way: every single band on that bill you have heard of.
Yeah. Well, I will say there's a few bands on the extreme stages that I have not heard of, like Inquisition, Abysmal Dawn, Green Death, Internal Bleeding. Those are some of the real heavy death metal
Yeah,
bands.
that's- yeah.
But that's great because that's what people want out of Knotfest. That's what Slipknot came from. So I think it's killer. I think it's going to be an awesome show. And I like the fact that there's not a ton of big name bands where there's no way you can see them all. I like the fact that there's probably a dozen bands that I have to see. I'll be able to see them this way.
Yeah.
So I can't wait.
No, I can't wait either. I talked to Six, and I asked him. This is this is off the record. I mean, I don't know if I should even be saying this, but not that it's a big deal. I asked him. I said, "Hey, would you be willing to fly out to Sacramento to cover Aftershock?" And he goes, "Why?" I said, "Well, because I think I want to go see Knotfest better more than I want to go see Aftershock, and I like the Aftershock festival."
Oh, yeah. That's a great lineup, too.
Everybody, like the people there, are so accommodating. Like as far as the PR people and
Yeah.
getting your interviews and stuff like that, everything is way cool and it's so organized and stuff like that. But I really want to see, Knotfest this year.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with Priest and Slipknot and Korn. Oh my God!
It's a great lineup. It really is. I think they take the time to do this, and they did because I mean they already have the days set up. They have the stages set up. As far as what the time or what the breakdown will be, I think that's fantastic. Tickets go on sale this week, so when you hear this podcast, they will already be on sale, most likely. They're going to be early bird specials. Now, let me buy my ticket first before you buy yours. So that's why we're going to put this episode out after the tickets are on sale.
Let me say this: tickets will be on sale June 29th as a pre-sale. We'll start
Yes.
doing that instead of saying this Monday or this week. Sometime
gotcha.
we'll just give dates from now
I
on.
got you. I'm so sorry. I take it all back.
And if you're at Mayhem, you got 2-day festival tickets for $40 fucking. Can you believe
and
that?
those are GA tickets, so they're the up in the grass. So anybody listening right now, I've seen a lot of posts on the Knotfest Facebook page. They're asking like, okay, what's the difference between Pit Pass and GA? GA is actually behind everybody. It's up in a field above the auditorium, the outdoor auditorium. The Pit Pass, which is the more expensive one, is actually right in the front of the stage.
And if you're worried about it being cold, it's going to be cool during the day. It's going to be cold in.
No.
Hold on. It'll be a little cool during the day, but when the sun goes down, it's going to get nice chill. It's going to get nice and chilly, right?
It'll be super chill at night and hotter than
But-
hell during the day if it's like last year.
But you got the fires out in the grass area at San
fires?
Manuel. The fire pits. Have you seen the fire pits?
Last year there was one fire.
Really?
Yeah. So
Oh,
what
wow.
happened was they had controlled fire for the kind of like displays that this whole thing encompasses. Like they had this like terror dome type thing.
Oh, okay.
But supposedly I was there. They somebody started a big fire of garbage and things up in that field above. But they didn't have the flaming barrels at all at this event. They were supposed to have all these flaming barrels all over the place. and
Oh,
they
really?
didn't. Yeah, they didn't do it.
Well, when
so.
I went to go see Maiden about 5 years ago out there were fire pits, circle pits around these homemade fire things.
Yeah,
out
I
in
mean,
the lawn.
they could do that at any moment. I'm sure
Yeah.
that'll happen. But there was one that I knew of last year.
That's what they're notorious for out there, San Manuel.
Yeah, but you'll be able to camp. You'll be able to do all sorts of stuff, and everything goes on sale the 29th of June, 10 a.m.
Let me ask you: did you buy your Slipknot Lamb of God tickets for here?
I did.
Did you?
Yes.
Are you still gonna? I mean, you still going to both or what?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, just asking.
Fuck yeah.
You're not gonna go to Five Finger or what?
It's not the same night, is it?
Oh no.
Why can't I go to Five Finger?
That's 3 big shows. In
I can't go to Five Finger now? Are you telling me where I can and can't do?
Just fucking asking you.
Damn
bro.
it, man. Of course I'll go to all of it.
Look, they're my olives. I was looking for my olives.
if we had video right now, Mex is digging through his Bloody Mary looking for his olives. I'm going to talk about music while he's talking about olives. So we talked about
I'm listening
that
to you, dude.
big
Don't
old concert, and we just
fucking get
mentioned
me
a couple
all
other
fucking-
ones, which were
get me all
Five
crazy.
Finger Death Punch with In This Moment and From
See
Ashes
this
to
guy? See
New.
what I have to put up with?
And I'm trying to like block everything out that I'm hearing right now. And so we got lots of big concerts coming our way. But here's some coming this month. This is the first part of the month right now. We got John Corabi, who was a one-time singer for Motley Crue. His self-titled album, Motley Crue, back in '94, was one of the best Motley Crue albums ever.
No, not one of. The best Motley Crue album.
One
No.
of okay, it was the best one with John Corabi,
No,
and it was a great album.
It was
man.
the only one with John Corabi.
That was my point. People read between the lines.
Don't
on
let
that.
him read. Don't. Why are you bullshitting the listeners?
I don't
bullshit.
bullshit. I don't
Be
bullshit.
honest.
Their
It
listeners
was the
know.
best Crue album ever.
Who did John Corabi used to sing
What is Nikki
for?
saying? The Scream. What is Nikki saying?
She's shaking her head.
Put the microphone. No, she wants
Nikki,
to speak.
we need a Nikki. Can we get a statement on this whole situation?
I said you guys are so married.
We're gonna edit that out.
Hey, who's the wife and who's the husband? No, you brought it up,
No,
Nikki.
we're gonna leave it at that.
You brought it up, Nikki. Who's the wife and who's the husband?
Max,
And this-
aren't we for equality here?
Well, since you're my boss, I'll say you're the husband.
There you go.
That's all right, man. I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna fight it. So, anyways, John
Thank you, Nikki.
Corabi, he used to be the singer for the Scream, which is a cool band from the early '90s, and
And
he
the
put
Union.
out he put out the Motley Crue album, and it was just such a great album.
Yeah.
man. And he is playing that album in full for
God,
one
I
of the
can't
first times
fucking wait,
ever
dude.
at Vamped on Thursday. I believe it was a Thursday, July 2nd.
I think I'm getting a little
$10
hard just talking about
advance
this.
tickets, man. I can't. I don't know how we can miss that. So I think we got it covered.
Okay, look. First of all,
Yes,
we were talking about another possible show that's happening the same night.
that's correct.
Now, that other possible show, one of the bands is going to go on early because it'll probably be one of the first bands. Karabi's going to go on later. We can still make both.
If you're driving,
I'll drive.
okay. If we can make that happen, because we can find out what time Karabi's playing. I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, because it's somebody's birthday celebration, I believe, that night too that we know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No, seriously, whose?
Uh,
Who? You can say it.
I can
care.
say. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Steffi
Steffi from who?
from that other outlet in town.
Fuck her, dude.
See, he makes me say this, and then he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Anyways, so yeah, we could always find out.
See
what
how I
time.
just set him up like that?
You bitch. Okay. Oh, it's on now. Do you hear that? We've got sound effects and everything. So as I say on subject,
Yeah.
so yeah, so we may be doing 2 shows that night, and we'll let you know all about it if we find out about that second
Definitely.
show, mysterious show. Also, the next night we have Art of Dying.
Yes.
That's a band we've
we
talked
will
to
definitely
before.
be there also.
We will definitely be there for Art of Dying.
and we should be
That's on the
talking
3rd.
to one of the guys from Art of Dying soon.
I believe you did.
Did I?
You did.
I did.
You did.
Thanks for killing the
You do know
the
that
theater of the mind.
No, if listeners right now, you heard about 30 seconds ago when Big Mex was like just dissing me right in your face. I just got him back. So, anyways, yeah, Art of Dying. Don't miss that show.
see where
That's
my
the
hand is
3rd
at?
Vamped. Yeah, I know
I
where
want
your hand's
that
at.
olive. God damn it! I want that olive.
On the 4th of July, we have Lit at Downtown Grand. That's going to be a cool show on the rooftop pool. I will be there. Mex will not, hopefully. And then next week, we got Wednesday 13 with First Class Trash, 7/10. So that's July 10th at Vamped. Wednesday 13 used to be in Murder Dolls with Joey Jordison
love the
from
Murder
Slipknot.
Dolls.
And so there's a big following there. And then
Don't ignore
finally-
me because I'm doing this, and just don't be
Oh,
mad
I'm
at me
ignoring you
'cause-
big time. I'm just plowing right over you.
because I'm multitasking.
And,
Fucking
the
hater.
next show, the big show for the first part of this month, the one that ends the first part, is Armored Saints at Vamped.
That's going to be a hell of a show.
That's on the 11th of July.
Yes. And we're probably going
And-
to talk to somebody from Armored Saints soon,
Yeah,
too.
I we'll be there no matter what. I
Yes.
mean, Armored Saint, come on now. John Bush, really? You got to be there for Armored Saint at a
You know what?
great venue like
I
Vamped.
I think he did an awesome job with Anthrax. Me personally.
Honestly, Joey, don't listen to this. I thought the John Bush era was the best of Anthrax. I'm going to go on record saying that, without a doubt. Sound of White Noise, Stomp 442.
Never really was a
Volume
fan
8.
of Stomp 442.
We've Come For You All. Those are just
Which,
killer
by the way,
albums.
Anthrax is coming with Motorhead
That is true.
and Saxon. Can you imagine
Oh.
that fucking? Oh my god!
You know, that show is on the same night as something else. We'll talk about this
Next week.
next week. Yeah, there's something else going on. There's a lot of shows on one night, and I think that Motorhead show is the same night as like 3 or 4 other shows, which is a problem that Vegas has at times. So
You got to
That's
go with
okay.
Motorhead. Can't diss on Lemmy, dude.
we'll see.
No.
I mean, we're Volume 11. We got to have it covered all over town.
True that.
So we might be at a couple different shows that night, and I think we will. Where are we at on time, Mex?
Time is not a
Time
word.
is relevant.
Is irrelevant
Is
here.
it relevant? Should we talk another subject, or should we go into a song?
We can go to the next song.
Let's go to
Yeah,
the next song.
you're right. Yeah, let's go to the next song.
Let's go to the next song. This is a band called December in Red. They are out of my hometown, Seattle.
Whoa!
And I know. Big ups for Seattle. This is a song called Send Me a Postcard from their album The Way Out. They're kind of a Deftones meets Incubus with a slight hip-hop vibe to them.
You know what? As much as I like when you do that, sometimes you're a little off base. But that's all right.
Give me an example.
I can't right now.
See
But-
what just happened there?
But I'll be like, what is this guy talking about? But we'll talk about that later on.
oh, no.
Off the air.
Oh,
Let's get into the music.
fine.
Right here on volume11music.com.
With Big Mix, or you know what? You know what it is.
Just stop. 911music.com. Big Mex here. It's the Big Mex and Jamie show.
And this is Jamie on the Big Max and Jamie show.
I don't know if I like that one, dude.
I know we're gonna keep going with that for now,
Yeah.
but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely.
So we just played December in Red. That
Yep.
was a song, a pretty cool song actually, called "Send Me a Postcard."
I thought you were
And
gonna
I
say, "Send
mentioned
Me
the
an
band
Angel."
earlier. You know, check out their video to the Rats and Wolves. Check out December in Red's video for this song as well. It's a cool video.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll
that's
po-
how you look at videos now. You look
We'll
it up
post
on
we'll
YouTube.
yeah, we'll post it in the description down below.
Maybe I will.
Yeah, maybe you won't, but hopefully you will.
Speaking of singles and things that are coming out right now,
Yep.
there's a lot of big singles that just came out this week, and I kind of want to touch base. I want to kind of get a barometer of where we're at with some of these singles on these
Yeah.
new albums. You know, I'm going to start actually with Disturbed.
Okay.
So you had Disturbed. A lot of us were wondering, I
Not
wonder
a
if
fan.
Disturbed will change their sound and come out with something kind of different. No, not even remotely close to being different. It's exactly what you would expect from Disturbed. I got to say I'm not thrilled. You know, it's just like, it doesn't feel like they were gone.
You sound surprised.
I just, didn't do anything for me.
I'm not surprised whatsoever. Again, with the lack of originality.
Yeah, even when they came out with the Device album, when Dave Draymond came out with Device, you thought, okay, he's doing a solo or, a different band. It sounded exactly like Disturbed. So I don't think he can do really anything else. The other guys have branched out into other bands that have sounded different. But, Draymond's voice is just a one-dimensional voice that goes one way.
I know Nikki over here loves Disturbed. I don't see how that's possible. She doesn't strike me as a Disturbed fan. What's that?
She's not gonna. She's not in the mood to be dissed for her like of
I'm
bands.
I'm not dissing her. I'm just
She's
saying.
feeling. You're pointing a piece of paper at her right now. I don't know if you noticed that.
I don't know. No, that's dissing right there.
I'm gonna give her this sword. That way, she has a weapon to work with here. But, anyways, okay, moving on. Moving on. So we have Butcher Babies. So Butcher Babies is a band that's kind of been in the just ready to blow up status for the last couple of years, and they've gone from a super heavy scream every moment type of band that had a good gimmick and everything like that to something a little bit more. And this is a big step for them. They're on a major label now, and they put out this Monsters Ball single. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I talked with a couple of my friends, and we did not like it when we first heard it. We were really like, oh, this is a mess, blah, blah, blah. There I am with the blah, blah, blahs again. I'm sorry. But I actually kind of like it now. I watched the video today, and the video is really cool. So, again, check out this video.
Cool. Yeah.
But something about the song grew on me after watching the video. And so I'm not so much of a hater of this song now. I think it could lead to some different types of sounds where there's clean singing. There's just a kind of a crowd chant going along where it's going to be a big live staple. So I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah. I've always liked the Butcher Babies just because when I first saw them at 48 Hours Fest here in Vegas a few years back, I love the fact that they were naked and they had electrical tape on their nipples.
They don't do that anymore, by
They
the
don't
way.
do that anymore because, sex doesn't sell. But I've always still liked them even after that. I dug their stuff. I don't know if I like this one as much. I mean, maybe I got to listen to it again. I've only seen it. I've only seen the video
It's a
once.
grower, not a shower.
Yeah. Tell me.
No, I was the same way. I listened to it 3 or 4 times like, this is kind of all over the place. But then watching the video,
That's what it
something about
seems
the
to me.
visual-
It's all over. I don't listen. See, I listen to the music,
Yeah.
and you're right. It is all over the place, and I can't.
Yeah, follow not so much follow it, but it goes in too many different directions. But
Yeah.
something about the video brought it together. So
Yeah.
I give it, like I said, thumbs up. Also, just came out. I don't think it's actually out yet, but I heard it on the internet.
Uh-huh.
Is the second single from Saint Asonia,
Yep.
and
I haven't heard it yet either, but
dig it.
Yeah.
There's people are complaining about his voice, that it's not super produced. I like that fact. It differentiates it from 3 Days Grace.
Because I felt like it was even with I'm thinking Breaking Benjamin. I'm thinking of Breaking Benjamin. But yeah, I mean, even with 3 Days Grace, it was you heard a little auto-tune in there.
Well, they basically overlapped his vocals like probably 20 times. So he had a really distinct processed vocal, which
Yeah.
was his own. But I tell you, this new single, they grab melody and they use the melody to every single aspect of the song.
Yeah.
And I love it. I think it's great. So that's 2 for 2 on that Saint Asonia, which
Yeah.
actually the album's coming out pretty soon. So be on the lookout.
When
for
is that album drop? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think I want to say August.
August. That sounds
I'll
about
look
right.
into it, but I think it's August. Another one that came out this week, and this one's a little bit of a heartbreaker for some of us here because we're real big friends and fans. Five Finger Death Punch, Jekyll and Hyde.
I wouldn't necessarily say heartbreaker.
You know,
I mean, at least not from my standpoint. I'm more, when I heard it, and even I've interviewed Ivan before, and he's flat out told me, he's like, you know, if our shit sucked, you'd be the first one to tell us. And he's right. I would be the first one to tell you, but I wouldn't. I always look at music like this. They do something that I cannot do. I will never be able to do. You know,
it's hard to
it's hard to be
criticize something that you
exactly.
cannot do.
Even whether I know them or not.
Yeah.
What I will say is, I'm looking forward to the next single.
I think
Is that-
I absolutely follow you there, and I'm with you there. I think what they didn't need to do is, I don't want to say the word gimmick. It's a phone recording. It's a answering machine recording that they repurposed into the beginning of this song. That's been out there.
Really? Is that what
Yeah,
that is?
and that's why it has a weird feel to it. I like the second part of the song. I like the chorus. I like the breakdown. I like all that. It's those verses in the beginning that are the phone message repurposed towards a song that, to me, they didn't need to do that. They could have actually said, okay, this sounds cool, let's record it. Let's actually go in the studio and make that what we're going to have. It's a neat idea. I think it's really cool, but it takes away from that song.
Honestly, I didn't realize that was. I mean, now is it a real phone recording or is it one of those?
From what I heard, it's real.
What is it? I mean, I honestly, I heard it. I instantly was not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And it really hurts me. I mean, it kind of pains me to say that, just because I hate being that guy. But
That's what I meant.
But I'm never, and even when I worked at the rock station, I've never been one to mince my words when it comes to reviews.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's there's.
But you do like to tell me that I'm wrong about mine.
Yeah, but whatever.
Bada bing.
Yeah, but you're whatever.
I can take it. I can
Yeah.
take it. I've grown. My skin has grown so thick since I've been hanging out with this guy
For the past
literally
16
and
weeks.
figuratively. But moving on. I mean, as far as that goes, we don't want to delve too. We're gonna have a great single.
I'm
from
looking
them. We
forward to
know
the
it.
next single.
It's gonna
Definitely.
be a killer
I'm
album.
looking forward to the album. Also.
Personally, I absolutely love the new Breaking Benjamin. I have never been a fan of Breaking Benjamin.
Wait a minute, is Breaking Benjamin on here?
Yeah. So Breaking Benjamin, they have the Dark
Oh,
Before
sure.
Dawn album that
That's
just came
why
out.
I thought of Breaking Benjamin.
And I've never been a huge fan. My wife's a huge fan. Everybody I know is a huge fan.
I've always liked them.
They go on and on and on about them. I like Saturate, the first album. And from there, I just kind of got tired of them. For some reason, this album's just stuck to me. I have listened to it a million times. I love it. I can recite words from it. There's something about it. It's just really it just stuck to me. I think it's a great album. It debuted, I believe, at -- 1 on Billboard.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Not
it's
too
nice
shabby.
when rock. Anytime rock can debut high on the Billboard charts is a great thing. But again, there's only I think one failure. I think is the main single off that album right now. But there's probably 6 or 7 songs as strong as that song on that album.
Yeah.
So check it out. And last but not least, Refuse. Refuse is a band I've mentioned before. They were trailblazers way back when, 96, 97, when the Shape of Punk to Come came out, and then they imploded. They put out an album that has never been matched as far as what the aspect, the scope of what they're going for. Now they're back after 20 years with an album called Freedom. Right off the bat, it's just not the same because 20 years have passed. But it's, again, a forward-thinking album that's taken all these different sounds and made it their own. It's more like a I can't even really describe the sound of this album, to be honest with you. It's rock, but it takes in 10 different directions of rock. Punk, rock, folk at some points, but a heavier sense of it. And kind of has a Foo Fighters feel to it.
Yeah. All right. I believe I'm
What,
not.
what say you, Big Mex?
I'm not into Refused.
I know, you're
I-
not.
I-
What about
I'm-
any of the other bands we just talked about?
Breaking Benjamin. I
Yes.
haven't heard that album yet.
Damn it.
Butcher Babies, I love the video. Saint Sonia, I dig totally. Disturbed, not a fan. And Five Finger Death Punch. Looking
All right.
forward to the next single.
See, there we go. That was a little overview from Big Mex.
Yeah,
Thank you
sure.
very much, sir. Let's change subjects altogether.
Yeah.
We talk about movies and TV shows a lot here, and every now and then we have somebody at our table who has seen a movie that has just come out to theaters.
Yep.
A movie called Ted 2 just came out, and Ted 1 was a runaway success. Nikki, we'd love for you to tell us all about Ted 2.
Nikki from the comic book Rack.
Isn't that name awesome?
That name is awesome. Can we just shorten? Like, can we just, can you guys just be the Rack, the comic Rack?
You're gonna have to talk to her about that.
I'm gonna have to talk to her.
Uh,
I'm her boss.
I'm
tell her.
I'm not
I'll-
gonna make the decision
I'm
here.
gonna tell her. So you guys
She
are,
made the name.
you guys are gonna be shortened the Rack. So anyway, go ahead.
The movie is amazing. Any Seth MacFarlane fan will go see this movie. You have to. Everybody in the theater just laughing the whole time. Pretty much sold out when I went. They have a lot of celebrities in this movie.
Yeah.
You're gonna see a lot of random faces that you're just gonna be like, why is he in here or why is she in here?
Name a couple on off the top of your head that are surprised. Like, what the fuck is this guy
Jay
doing?
Leno.
Okay.
He's in there, and it's a random moment.
Okay.
Morgan Freeman.
That one I'm surprised at.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm just gonna name just a few of those, but there's a lot of people that's gonna be very random. But that's
Cool.
that's him for you though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a really good movie.
Is it as good as the first one?
Yes. Yes. Usually, the second installments they usually go down a little bit, but this one he stayed exactly where he needed to be. So it's worth it. It's worth seeing it about 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Pay for it? See it
Yes.
3-4 times?
Yep.
How about download it for free somewhere off
No,
torrents?
don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't ever do that?
No, don't
You're
ever do
right.
that.
Don't. That's illegal.
And I mean, coming off the failure of A Million Ways to Die in the West, I think
I liked that
I know,
one.
but it was a failure. It was panned. He's had a little bit, a little bit of trouble recently because that was a bomb, and then he also kind of bombed at the Oscars. So it's nice that
Wait,
if this
wait,
movie's,
back up. What did he do at the Oscars?
well, I believe he hosted the Oscars
I don't know. Did
or
he?
the Emmys or something like that. Nikki doesn't know, but I guarantee you, he hosted some award show, and he kind of bombed at it. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's nice that he's back.
And he has a weird, dark sense of humor.
Yeah, it's our sense of humor. So
Yeah.
I think for the most part, the 3 people at this table,
The uppity
can
fucks at the
appreciate
Oscars.
what's going
yeah,
on
the
right
uppity
there.
fucks at the Oscars were like, oh my God, you can't say that.
Okay, so getting into the movie spirit, let's talk about movies. This is going to be kind of a quick little bullet point discussion that I go through here, and anybody here, feel free to chime in at any moment. Star Trek Beyond, that's going to be Star Trek 3.
Looking forward to it.
They already signed up Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto. They are
Yep.
signed for, I say episode, I'm Star Wars speak there. Number 3 and number 4, basically, of Star Trek. They already signed up for 3 and 4. Number 3 will be called Star Trek Beyond. It's coming out in 2016. And Simon Pegg is actually the writer
say,
of
Simon
this
Pegg,
movie, which is pretty cool. He plays Scotty, if anybody didn't already know that.
And if you also didn't know, he was Hot Fuzz, End of the World,
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Very, very funny as dude is. I mean, I don't think he wrote any of his lines in the other 2 Star Treks, and that's how
there
funny
seems
he
to be a
is.
bit of ad-libbing here and there.
Yes, and I
Especially
think
when
I
that
think
little,
they give him
that little alien guy you kept yelling at. I think that was all him. But
they give
J.J. Abrams lets his actors kind of go a little bit more free
he
than
gave.
most directors.
I'm sure he gave the freedom to him. So imagine a whole movie written by that guy.
Yeah,
It's gonna
I
be
think
good.
It's gonna be cool. I think it'll be like a really cool Star Trek episode. Is the best way to put it. Speaking of people that work with J.J. Abrams, this is something I didn't even write down. Greg Grunberg. I don't know if you're familiar with the actor. He is a childhood friend of J.J. Abrams. He's been in every single J.J. Abrams movie or show that's ever been out.
Well, really?
And he has a somewhat prominent role in the new Star Wars.
Who was he in the other 2 Star Trek movies? You know?
He was bit players in the other movies. You just see him. He was the voice of Kirk's. He was Kirk's stepdad's voice in the car when he was driving that car as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Was yelling at him. So everything you can see, like when J.J. Abrams did Felicity, he was on that show. I think he was probably on Alias at some point. He is on Mission Impossible. I mean, he's always shows up somehow or another.
Lost.
God.
J.J. Abrams do Alias?
Yeah.
No shit. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, Mission Impossible 3.
Oh, don't try to be don't be condescending. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I don't know everything.
You'll see a lot of the same actors. Like, you'll definitely see a lot of the same actors. But there's pictures that surface. And it's not a spoiler alert because he doesn't have a huge role, but he's in a X-wing fighter costume, and or pilot costume. So he has some kind of role. So I think it's pretty cool, and he's a fun actor. And he was also on Heroes.
Real quick, is J.J. Abrams going to be directing this? Okay.
No, J.J. Abrams has stepped away from Star Trek. He'll be producing.
He better.
He'll be producing, but he's
no,
not
no,
going to be.
He needs to give
directing.
up everything on that. Okay. Let's continue.
Okay, we're just going to leave it there. Max is having an episode right now.
Don't you agree with me?
I think that if anybody can command the both of the Star
No, you can't do that.
I think,
it's polar opposites.
No.
They're polar opposites.
but I think he's the only guy who could.
What do you think? If you're listening right now, put in the comments below. Do you think J.J. Abrams has to pick one or the other, Star Trek or Star Wars?
Well, he already has.
He can't. No, he hasn't.
But
Because
yes, he is not going to do Episode 3 of Star Trek because he is making the new Star Wars.
he needs to relinquish every single duty.
He can't when you're involved that
He
much.
has to.
It doesn't work.
No
like that.
questions asked. Let's continue, please.
Damn it, man. Damn it. So combative today.
No, just being. It's.
So
no.
J.J. Abrams will also be directing the new Indiana Jones. Just kidding. But there's another.
I'm fine with that.
There's another oversaturation going on here, which is Chris Pratt. Do you let Chris Pratt become the new Indiana Jones? He's already the new Jurassic Park star. He's already a Guardians of the Galaxy star. Do you let him take another franchise? Now, Harrison Ford used to be able to do this. And I think that's what they're grooming Chris Pratt to be. But I saw Jurassic World, and he wasn't all that. You know what I mean? He wasn't.
all right,
He wasn't
yeah.
Star-Lord in this movie.
Oh no.
He was kind of just a guy. in the movie.
A tamer version, a watered down version of Star
Yeah.
Wars.
So I think they're going a little too crazy. There's not a big marquee star these days, and when they think they see one, they're like, oh, let's get him for everything.
Yeah.
So that's a little worrisome. I'd rather see somebody maybe a fresher face for Indy, but that's coming out in 2018. They're already saying that that's pretty much a done deal. 2018, we'll see a new Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
Also this week, Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension. The trailer dropped,
Yeah.
and I'm really intrigued. This is going to be the last one. They the maker, the guy, Jason Blum, says that he doesn't want this thing to go on too long, so he's ending it with this one for the main story.
It's about time. I think this franchise has kind of run its course. Even though they've been good movies, they've been all right movies for the most part. It's time to.
I think it's
Let
the
it go.
perfect time. And I
Yeah.
will say, I think they're being specific with the fact that this is the end of this story. They can still do spin-offs because the Marked Ones I thought was a great spin-off.
And it ended fucking awesome.
Well, it tied everything together.
Yeah.
And, I think that was a sneak peek of what this is going to be. This is called, again, the Ghost Dimension, meaning that we're going to see where all the shit's going down. We're also supposed to get to actually see Toby, which if you follow these movies, Toby is the main demon in this movie, and we're going to actually see who this demon is. So that's going to be kind of cool. It could end up being somebody we've already seen before. Moving on, yet again, Netflix, Daredevil Season 2.
I'm surprised that this is going to happen.
Okay, so I told you last week that The Punisher has been cast for Daredevil Season 2, and that's John, I want to say Berthnall. Anyways, he's the guy who played Shane on Walking Dead. He's going to be the Punisher.
Okay.
Well, now they just announced that Season 2 will be the Daredevil versus the Punisher, meaning that the Punisher will be the villain in this movie, or this show.
Now, is it more along the lines of like Batman versus Superman?
Well, I would assume so, where, because we know the Punisher is not necessarily a bad guy.
he's just an anti-hero.
He's an anti-hero, so that's not going to mix well with Matt Murdock. So I think, we're going to have a misunderstanding for 3/4 of the season, and then like, oh, wait a second, we're on the same side, and then we're going to see like Bullseye come in.
Is Bullseye scheduled to?
I mean, it'll be a little tough because you're going to have a huge villain or anti-villain like Punisher. But I think it would be pretty cool if they brought in Bullseye towards the end so that they kind of work together.
Tie everything together.
Yeah, because you never know how long these shows are going to last. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't want to wait and then not do it. Hannibal got canceled this week, and that's a critically acclaimed show that didn't have an audience really, like a big enough audience. They had big plans. Like this season's going to be Red Dragon, and then the next season would be Silence of the Lambs. Well, guess what? They can't do that now. They waited too long, so that's kind of a bummer for the fans of that show. Speaking of shows that just started rather than shows that are going to be ending, there's a show called Mr. Robot. Sounds stupid, I know, Mr. Robot. Really cool show. Unknown actor is the lead. Christian Slater is the second lead. And it's just a really cool look at how creepy government spying and all that stuff has got. And so I would really urge you to check out the show. And Max, I don't think you've actually heard of this show.
I have not.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those shows that I don't think you would hear about unless you look for it. But I think it's on USA. But it was really good, and it's gotten great reviews. I checked out the first episode already, and I would urge you to check it out.
And Genesis. Yeah.
What do we think
Terminator.
about this?
I think it's going to be typical, mind-numbing, surface-only, topical. Like, I just think it's just, like, check your brain at the door and have a good time type movie. And I think people are going to dig it, and I don't think it's going to be as big of a flop as you probably think it will be. I don't think it's going to be a flop.
Okay, this is from a guy. So my thoughts on things. My favorite Terminator movie was Salvation. Most people won't agree with that. I thought Salvation
Is that the
was
one
fantastic.
with
Christian Bale.
Yeah, I like that one
And
too.
I thought that was a great movie that took the whole Terminator franchise to a different direction.
Yep.
And I thought it was awesome. I loved it.
I liked it.
I think that Genesis will actually be kind of that same type of movie and kind of be more thought-provoking than we actually are thinking right now.
Okay.
I think there's going to be so many twists and turns of what you know about Terminator and the timelines that you're going to have to kind of be like paying attention. So I don't think it'll be quite as mindless. That can either make it or break it. If people don't want to follow that, they're not going to see it, and word of mouth is going to be bad. I think it'll be a modest hit. I think it automatically will be a modest hit. Terminator 3 was a modest hit, and it wasn't very good. It's not going to be a blockbuster. I
Yeah.
think it'll be a money-making movie.
Yeah.
So that's my take on that. But they've given out a lot of plot points, which makes me think that they're a little worried as well. I mean, to put out there that John Connor is now bad
I
in
didn't know
the
that.
trailers, it's all over. I mean, if you watch the trailer, they show that he's bad.
Oh.
You know that the point of the movie is going to make it where they have to reverse that. You know that he's turned bad or he's a part Terminator or something like that. So for them to give that away, they're kind of banking that maybe they need to tell the story a little bit. So
Scooter's like, you guys done yet?
I know Screw's like, good God, you're still here.
Yeah, we just worked till we're tired. I'm getting tired. You know, it's past my bedtime. But
I know Max is falling asleep
now
across
I'm
from
like
here.
this.
I
Jamie
know.
talks too much.
Did we talk comics yet?
Yes, we passed the comic book part up. So you missed it. We talk about how many comic book. To talk about it again, on Tuesday nights here they have trivia night. Tuesdays and Saturdays they have trivia night here.
Yes.
This past Tuesday we came, myself, my wife, and Anna, who was part of the comic book rack. And we did pretty good. Considering it was our first night out, we scored like 15 points. I think the winner got like 20 points, so not too shabby.
I'll be coming out this Tuesday.
Jamie will be out this Tuesday. I don't know if Nikki's going to be out this Tuesday or not.
We'll make her be there.
You're going to be here? Okay, she's going to be here. So, we're going to have a good
Screw's
time.
trying to figure out what the theme of this week's.
It's spades, clubs, hearts, and
Hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds.
yeah.
Hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds. So the question or the answer, or both, will include something. Could be a golf club, right? Could be a baseball.
A wide range of anything.
Yeah, it could be anything. So
Last week was family time.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was fun last week. I think this week's going to be a little bit harder.
Well, that's perfect time for me to join the
I
club.
was just boom.
You like that?
I like that.
I didn't even know what I was doing right there, but it sounded like I did, so we're going to go with it.
All right.
So I think we exhausted our time.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I'm exhausted right now.
Yeah,
Like,
I can see it.
I have some medical stuff going on, and it's making me tired.
Yeah. It's okay, man.
Yeah.
We'll take care of you. I'll carry you out of here.
It sucks getting old, dude. It really fucking sucks balls.
Yeah.
Like I've had over the past few days, I've had this medical thing. I've had indigestion, like serious fucking indigestion. Which, by the way, home remedy for indigestion: half a teaspoon of baking soda in a glass of water. Right? It was awesome. I can't hear a word you're saying. Can you give me the mic?
That home remedies are amazing.
Yeah, they
you just
are.
don't hear about them. They're kind of secret now. They're pushing them away.
Yeah, I was like, baking soda is good for polishing your teeth, indigestion, and cleaning your battery terminals in your car
And your refrigerator.
and your refrigerator. Like, that's a wide range of like shit.
And I heard it has something to do with baking as well.
Probably.
Yeah, so I've heard, but I've never actually used it.
Call me crazy. Yeah. Thank you so much. Again, thank you to all the great service people here at the Sporting Life Bar, 7770 South Jones Boulevard on the corner of Robindale and Jones. Scooter has been very accommodating. I got served club soda by the owner. I mean, what owner does that? Seriously.
This is where Mech starts just fading off into the sunset, telling us certain things that we don't want to hear.
But
so we got to cut him
though.
off. We got to cut him
No, but
off.
seriously though, like, why do that when you have the help to do it, the people to do it, right? Right? That's why you hire bartenders and servers. The owner doesn't have to serve you.
That is true.
That's what I'm. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Oh,
So quit being a fucking smartass.
your points, your aim is true, but it takes a while to get there.
Fuck yourself. All right, we're out of here. It's time for us to get going. It's time for me to get going, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we got to tuck you in.
Yeah, I got to tuck me in for the night. Go Mimis. Nikki, thank you for coming out and gracing us with your presence. We're going to look for a gentleman for you. Okay? Someone who can pay for dinners and not expect anything. What's that?
There'll be 4 suitors sitting. Oh, Volume 11 dating game.
Oh, my God.
Nikki?
Oh, my God.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, on Lube Night at the Adrenaline. Oh, my God.
BYOL. I
Yeah.
like the idea.
Lube Night and Dating Game Night. Yes.
If you
Ooh,
answer wrong,
ooh,
you
ooh.
have to wrestle in the loop.
Ooh. Men Lube Night for a date with Nikki.
Wow.
Would
I don't
you-
know. Does Nikki really want those guys with the, the Speedos and the lube and the smuggling plums? And I know he's definitely he just took a drink out of his microphone and talked into his glass. So we're gonna. I think it's time.
Excuse me.
It's time. We're gonna close chapter on episode 16.
4 months in, dude.
I know this is pretty nice. This one was probably the roughest,
Yeah.
but it's cool.
For me, anyway.
And in turn for me as well. But episode 16, volume 11, music, Big Mex and Jamie show. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.
Good night.